welcome back to another episode of Pictus Northern Star Floatie-boatie thingy. Hey look, I'm sorry I'm a little bit inconsistent with episodes and getting these out. Been a tough couple of months, Christmas and New Year. First Christmas without my darling wife and coming up to the anniversary of a passing. So off for a little bit of a walk, go and get some exercise. I've been slacking a bit and I've been struggling to maintain motivation and interest in various projects. So I've decided I need to pull my finger out of my backside and I need to just get on and start doing some stuff, and part of that is regular exercise and walking. Here's some footage of a wee walk down to the Waikawa Marina to go and check the boat the other day. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Alright, some more other adult fantail there. A California quail running down the path in front of me. And we had a little finch, or I don't know if you can see that. Then we're joined by this fella here, up there. Pretty cool. Love those little birds. He'll follow me down, probably seeing if I'm going to kick up any insects. Hey, what are you doing? Just awesome. I love them because they remind me of my wife. I refer to her as a bit of a fantail. She had so many projects on the go, bouncing from one thing to the next, and was never sitting still, and following her down the road was shocking, especially the shops. Not going to land, some of this land on you. There you go. And I'd turn around and she would be gone and disappeared. She'd be in looking through a rack of clothing, or just gorgeous little birds. Look at them. Not a very old one either, I would say, looking at that one. A bit older than the other one we saw. There you go, we'll catch you later, wee bird. Right. Down towards the industrial area behind the marina. There's certainly been a lot of effort expended on these walkways, maintaining them, developing them. Oh, the old hard stand's still pretty empty. And to seriously think about pulling Northern Star out in the next few months. Humdinger, certainly is a humdinger. It's a bit of an event on at the boating club. I won't record too much more of this. It's I made previous episodes with quite a bit of footage of the marina and boats in it. It gets a bit tedious and people lose interest. Don't know if you can see that big ray there. There's his travelling mate. I see the other one was being followed by a whole pile of little fish. Obviously eating whatever he's stirring up. or she. Yeah, it's looking alright. I'm keeping a bit of an eye on the solar controller, just on the settings, whether it's getting hot. It's all pretty new to me. Solar power, solar controllers, all that sort of drama. Everything seems to be going alright, and I'll just tickle up the settings as time passes. Quick check of the mooring lines, make sure everything was tickety-boo, and then we headed back. Plan is to come back tomorrow and try and do a few jobs, clean up, get some things sorted, maybe try and install a bilge pump. Right, 23.8 in the batteries, that's saying 23.7. So that must be the state of the batteries currently, and it's charging at 24, so seems to be all tickety-boo. So I always get at home and I always think, did I turn those off when I leave? Just imagine it sitting there with those old bulbs sucking the power out of the battery. So tomorrow I'm going to come down, spend some time, install. In a bit of a mess here at the moment. It's a bit of a work site. I'm going to install the pump. I picked up a appropriate size cable. Somewhere around here I've got a non-return valve. There it is there. And I'll install that in close proximity to the pump so that there's not too much water flopping back down and re-triggering it if it needs to, so the pump's not turning on and off all the time. The other job I'll do tomorrow, I've got a little bit of bilge water in there from the last rain. I don't know if you can see it down there. I'm going to suck that out before I do the other job so that I can get in there and sort it properly, and then work out where I'm going to run this cable through to, and ventilate the boat. And we might go and have a look at the this timber work up here. I might peel all of that plastic off, air it out, and I may call into the chandlery and pick up some Everdura and have a little bit of a play with that and see if I can get it sealed up properly in preparation for what I'm going to do. Now what I'm thinking of doing is actually leaving that as is. When I go out on the boat, I'll fit it and bolt it on. When I come back into the marina, I'll take it off again, and that'll address the issue of being 0.8 of a metre too long. Hopefully get the marina happy. Now the other jobs there, like I was talking about, are going and getting some clean macrocarpa. Just, you can see there where there's been some damage. Water's got into the railing there, and there's another spot round the port side as well. Along here, which is the working side of the boat over the years, and there's been a few replacement pieces of timber put in there. Would appear. So I was down having a little bit of a look at how everything's alright down here, and on my walk working. and work out which switches are what. Ah, there we are. Would say that's the 24 volt. That was one of those switches. Anyway. Yep. Here, so the 12 volt system's still working. Okay. I know I've talked about the house system previously. What I've decided I need to do, I am going to put switches and everything up there as a bit of a house bank switchboard. I'm going to run, or I need to run, a good positive and negative feed off the batteries up into this location here to a bus bar for the positive and negative. That will allow me to directly wire in the 24 volt bilge pump directly to the batteries. Then that will also allow me to feed off here somewhere positive and negative bus bars to run new feed into each of the areas, new feed for each of the lights or for the lighting in their wheelhouse. Run a feed through to the forward cabin for the lighting and a feed back through into the aft cabin for lighting. And I also want to run a feed into the engine room to get some decent lighting in there as well. So if I need to turn lights on, get down there to do a job, I can see what on earth's going on rather than have headlamps and all that sort of thing, or have to lift the floor up, especially if it's at night and we're anchored up somewhere. So what I think I need is a separate feed for each area. It can be fused off here and earth back to the battery. Then I'll run a separate feed for the 12 volt Lawrence fish finder chart plotter, the VHF radio, and anything else up here such as the spotlight will have a separate feed again. I just need to try and work out what the amp draw is on that. That'll have a separate feed, and I'm going to mount the spotlight somewhere up here, and I'm going to run the cable directly down and wire in. I'm not going to wire in an external cigarette lighter type of adapter. I think it should be hardwired in, but I suppose for a smaller boat would be quite good to be able to plug it into the protected cigarette lighter area and remove the spotlight. Has a removable base, also has a very strong magnet on the bottom of it, so I suppose you can stick it to something, you stick it to a steel hull or stick it to an engine if you need to use it. My view is, for Northern Star, I'd rather that hardwired in, no matter how much they say cigarette lighters and those adapters, power supplies are marine and saltwater proof, corrosion proof. That's a nonsense. They always rust no matter what they do, and you have nothing but bloody problems with them. They work, don't work, and then they get hot, and then you try to use them, and the moment you need them, they don't bloody work. So that's my view anyway. Other people may disagree, but I'm going to cut the end off and hardwire it in once I get it mounted in the appropriate place, and I'll make a bag to put over the top of it to protect it from the elements and stop the plastic from becoming brittle. Well, it has a little keychain remote here, so you could operate it from anywhere on the boat, from out catching a mooring or going in somewhere, someone else is steering or whatever. You can manipulate it around. So it's on, off. Sorry, I'll just move around. 360 degree movement. Up, down. Has a flashy mode. You can't move it in that though. And once you put it back there. So I think this will be a great addition to Northern Star and will be actually awesome once I get it fitted. So happy days. Cost me about $150 locally, second-hand. So I'm quite happy with that, given how much I've seen them for sale for. It's a sealed beam unit as well, and you can replace the bulbs if you need to, because I would like to look at replacing all of these lights with some lovely lighting. I'm one of these people, if I'm out on the water on a boat, I like to have the place looking like the Benmore power station. And of course a lot of those LED lighting systems, they use stuff-all power these days. They have stuff-all amperage drawer, and they're ideally suited for that, especially down forward. Would like lots of nice lighting. So then once the wiring's run, the next job will be insulating these ceilings. Get the wiring in, find an appropriate insulating substance, material, get that there, and I want to put a headliner throughout the wheelhouse, aft cabin and forward cabins. Unfortunately, covering up that lovely timber, my wife spent hours down there stripping. It's probably, whether I cover them up completely I don't know, but you can see it down there. It's really needs to be insulated for winter, and that'll stop probably about 80% of the condensation issues and this mould, etc. So yeah, so a lot of work, a lot of plans, and yeah, got to just find the motivation and start the work bit by bit as the money permits and as time permits. So yeah, so that's working. There's our chart. This chart is well and truly updated. I need to reset it. This is course up or whatever, course down, I don't know. I prefer it around the other way. But effectively, this is where we are here. This is how much area they used when they enlarged the marina. So yeah, need to update that somehow. So lots of plans, lots of ideas. Just need to start pulling finger, and it would be nice to actually take her off the mooring or off the wharf out of the marina for a play. Unfortunately I can't tomorrow, my son's working, so I really need two sets of hands when we're coming back in. Getting off won't be a problem, coming back in will be the issue, especially if the wind picks up, which is the risk. One of these rare windless days, hearing the sounds. Pretty rubbish summer. And the wind hasn't blown its tits off.
I've mentioned it quite a few times in the past. If you haven't visited Marlborough Sounds, Picton, Waikawa, Havelock, and spent some time here, you don't know what you're missing out on. And this old girl here. I don't know if you can hear that old engine, but she's just chugging away there. Beauty of moorings. I always found moorings much easier to get in and out on. It's easier to do work whilst in the marina. I certainly think I'll probably be looking at putting a little star back in on a mooring. It'll free up a significant amount of money I can then use to reinvest back into the projects. But that's a decision a bit further down the track. At the moment it works. If I hadn't got her into the marina in the first place, I would never have known there was a potential time bomb waiting in the reduction box, gearbox. So that's been sorted. But she does need a good run, and then Sam from Seafarer Marine will come and check everything over again. So it's really going for a bit of a walk, and we're talking a pile of shite, so by the time I edit most of it out, you probably won't hear too much from me. Good morning, good morning, good morning. A beautiful Marlborough Sounds day. Rare in that there's no wind. Should be out using the old girl today, but problem being sun's working, it leaves just me at the moment, and I really prefer to have two of us on board when it comes back into tying up, particularly if the wind picks up like it does tend to, and I think the forecast is for the weather system to turn southerly. So it's down here. I'm going to suck out a bit of the bilge water that's been rainwater that's come in from various locations over the last couple of 3 weeks. Have a bit of a tidy up. I've just picked up a pack of Everdur and keep that on board with the other bits and bobs so that I can do some work and start to work around some of the jobs. So right now I'm going to just go forward and open the forward hold and ventilate that a bit too. I don't like having it shut all the time. There's a bit of work to do in there as well, just around getting it cleaned out and getting things sorted. I had someone ask me what is down in this forward hold area. At the moment, storage, fresh water tank, the small diesel tank for the diesel heater, some plywood that I removed off the aft cabin bunk area to create some more room. Spare chain, spare anchor and chain. I didn't even realise I had that. Crikey, shows how often I've been down here. Emergency tiller there. Spare ropes and hooks there. And possibly setting up a springer tied into there. Anchor chain and warp, all tied into there. And as you can see, there's a bit of a moisture issue in here. It needs to be sorted as well. So one of many jobs. This here is an unattached boarding ladder for the getting on and off. You know, 2 spare oars, a homemade live bait tank, shovel and things. So really just generally a junk area, the old inflatable. Honest, I'm probably quite tempted to actually get rid of both of the inflatables and just have a small 8-foot fiberglass dinghy that I can lift on and off easily, and it will stow a little bit easier than these bloody inflatables. Inflatables are good, but so as you can see, the old construction of the old girl, and pretty big timbers, and yeah, needs a good clean out in here as well. So this is what's down here. Right, so probably all up out of there, maybe 6 or 7 litres of rainwater, and the usual crud that's washed down with the water out of the bilge, including a couple of cable ties I dropped, so it shows how quickly it all ends up down there. Right, going to look at installing this next. At least get it down there, get it wired up on automatic, and get it back in there. It's not that I want to be pumping rubbish over the side of the boat, but it really needs a bilge pump there in the event that I have a leak or have an issue. So that I've got to get down into the bilge, down into here, and into there. There's the existing one, and it's been downsized to that, so I'm going to have to take that off to put the length of hose on. So to get in there, I've got a wee screw holding the old base plate down, and to find a screwdriver for that, and let's get into it. So not the greatest of places to work. The old base plate's off, screws out, a couple of locations there to choose from. What I want to do is actually just get the top of it and work out what the best angle is. I don't want to end up securing it in the wrong place, because I've got to get everything clear of the prop shaft. Okay, I don't know if you can see much in here, but my headlamp died. I'm going to do it by feel. Let's see the bottom grating in, or the bottom part. It's pretty much the best angle I can get it, because it's being a bit bigger than the other one. It's as level as I can get it because of the keel bolts and the design of it and the size. So next step, take this off and undo that, but of course it's a flathead and I need to get in there and find a flathead screwdriver. Oh, so huffing and puffing, it's hot in there and sweat's dripping off me, and I've just been contorting myself to all sorts of angles to get down in there. Okie dokie, a couple of new stainless steel hose clamps. I've installed the non-return valve as close to the pump as possible, as opposed to taking it to the next joint. Just sort of of the mind that it reaches that fine balance between the float switch activating the pump and not having that full of water below the non-return valve. Might just be the difference when it dropping back down when the pump turns off, re-triggering the bilge pump. So we'll see how well that theory works. So next step is to get it installed in the pipe, up and out of the way, and the wires run. As for the expected change in weather, and close everything up there and keep the weather out. Oh, so I've been hard at it in the bilge, and as per usual, nothing's easy. The time you get in there and you find you've left the screwdriver or Phillips or a tool that you need above, and you've got to crawl out, and you do that a couple of times in the heat, and you struggle to see what on earth's going on in there, and of course nothing's easy to reach. Yeah, everything takes a little bit longer than what you anticipate it doing. So the next problem now is I can't find an automatic bilge switch. I'll put it down somewhere and blowed if I can find it, and I'm getting to the point where I've just had a guts full today because, you know, it has gone wrong, it will go wrong, and I'm sick of putting stuff down, not being able to find it. Probably if I clean the mess up it might actually help, but I don't know where the bloody thing's gone. So anyway, I've run the wires through, as you'll see. The black wire is the earth, is the red, and the other black. And the other cable there will be for the power and for the oh, sorry, no, probably actually wrong. The black switch, the black is for the manual test and manual turn on the pump, and the other red and black wire are for the switch for the automatic side of things. So held together, the red and black cable don't do anything until I touch the black one to the earth, and yeah. So really, again, it's just going to be another yet temporary setup. I can actually do it. 24 volt power there. Pump seems to operate on 12 and 24, so I'm quite sure what the story is there. It's supposed to be a 24 volt pump, but well, it is a 24 volt pump, and I had to review a previous episode to work out the instructions for the three-way switch for the bilge pump, as I'd lost the instructions. So all sorted, and hopefully next episode we'll have that wired up. Thanks for hanging around. If you've obviously listened to this, you've hung around right to the end. I mentioned earlier, coming up to the anniversary for my wife. Vien mo garage. Hagil akam hosh the garage. Uit de beul, my cree.